That's it. No, that can be it.
Well, I'm not sure if there's anything else. That's an interesting question, and that's maybe a question best suited for for a female to answer.
Ah,
But yes, you're attracted to this person. You like the person. Take some time, get to know them, right? Get to know what they stand for. Get to know who they are. Get to know. If you share complementary interests. I mean, I don't want to say the same interest, right?
yeah.
Because your interest does not need to be exactly the same. My wife and I, we have a lot of things in common, but at the same time, there are some things that she really likes to do, which I don't, and there are some things I really like to do as well, which it's not her bread and butter. But those things are complementary. They are not opposite of each other. They are complementary.
Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Christine. Here on this channel, we share all things faith and growing in your walk with God. And today we have a very, very special guest. And this is one video I have been meaning to do sometime in May. I actually released the part one of this video, and this is a part two of the video because we talked about things from the woman's perspective, and now we are going to hear from a manly man. So today we have a special guest. He's somebody that needs special introduction, so I'm going to let him introduce himself.
I'm not sure how special the introduction should be. Well, but my name is Moses, and yeah.
That's it. No, that can be it.
Well, I'm not sure if there's anything else. Yeah, my name is Moses. You're my sister-in-law, okay? So that's another layer to it.
So my brother-in-law, his name is Moses, is a doctor, and he
Not a medical
has
doctor,
oh yeah,
though.
he's a doctor like PhD, and he has 7 years of marriage experience under his belt. He is an amazing father as well. And today I just want us to talk about some things that you would desperately want to tell single men, like some things that you would have loved to hear when you were single, going into marriage now, being married for 7 years. What are some things that you wish you knew before you got married?
I guess that's a loaded question. If I'm to speak to this topic at all, anyways, by the way, 7 years is nothing at all. I mean, I feel like, I feel like I'm just getting started compared to those who are 40 years under the belt. But yeah, but if I'm to speak to this topic at all, I have to naturally also cover some things that I also kind of knew before I got married. And number one being that marriage is God's idea, right? So for marriage to be successful, the way it's meant to be, it needs to be foundationally first built on God, and then secondly, it needs to be, will I say, implemented or executed according to godly principles. If not, what you get is a variety of marriage, or a flavor of marriage, something that's not marriage at all. So you can't afford to do marriage, just by following societal trends or things like that. It's a godly principle, it's a godly concept meant to be executed God's way. And yeah, I just took a bunch of notes here. And of course, for marriage to happen at all in the first instance, there has to be some kind of attraction,
Mm,
which is chemistry, right? But
mhm,
um, but the reality of the matter is that chemistry is not enough.
mm.
I mean, I also kind of knew that before I got married, but of course, the importance of that even became clearer, after marriage.
Can you tell us a few things that you were looking for before you got married?
Okay. So one thing I was looking for was, of course, chemistry was one thing I was looking for. That physical attraction
So
had to
that's
be
up on
there.
the list.
I don't think it was a hierarchical list. I think it was a
Okay,
flat. It was a flat list.
okay,
It was a bunch of things that had to be present. Not
okay.
one not being more important than the other
Than
one.
the other.
Yeah. So chemistry is important. Value alignment is also important. And what I mean by value alignment is, I mean, even if we look at the workplace, right? Sometimes a lot of big companies now, they have what they call a culture code. They have values and things like that. So you might attend an interview, and you have really good rapport.
Yeah.
You have really good rapport with interviewers, and so on and so forth. But the person might still end up not getting the job. because they just feel like this person is not a cultural fit.
Wow.
There's a culture already in that workplace, and they don't want to rock the boat. If they
That's why they're leaving.
exactly, so anyone coming to join that team, even if they're a great person, even if they have a great CV, even if they tick all the other boxes, if they're not a cultural fit
Mm,
and they join that team, they're just going to cause chaos, and nothing's going to get done. And marriage is much the same way, right?
mm,
So you might meet someone that, yeah, there's great chemistry, there's great attraction, there's great everything, but if there's no value alignment,
mm.
it is chaos
So what
waiting
I
to
hear you
happen.
say is that attraction and all the other things are not
Mhm.
enough
Yeah,
if your values don't align.
exactly,
Wow.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah,
That's good.
100%, and beyond that as well, right? Because again, when we look at it, chemistry, attraction, all of those things are great, but in the end, they're very fickle, right? They're
Mm,
very, very fickle. There are things that you'll discover. I mean, marriage happens. Marriage happens. We have 3 kids, for instance.
mm,
When your wife's pregnant, maybe she's not as attractive. I mean, of course, my wife was. I'm not saying this for myself. My wife was always attractive, but of course, you know what? Life happens,
right.
and it's not always going to be the same, right? So if a union is based just purely on attraction, when life does happen, then you just realize that, hey,
That's not
there's
enough.
nothing left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there needs to be that value alignment. There has to be friendship. That's a lot more resilient
So
than
friendship was one of the things you
friendship was one of them as
mentioned.
well.
That's a big one.
Yeah, there has to be friendship, and of course, friendship naturally happens when there's value alignment. When I say value alignment, your faith values, yeah, even your worldviews as a whole, right? So there has to be that that close
Sorry,
alignment.
let me just come in just a little bit. I wanted to say because when we talked to Pearl a few months ago, we did talk about the fact that you guys met and within 7 months you were married. So how did you cultivate that friendship? Because I feel like um a lot of marriage is friendship and many people miss out on that friendship. You date somebody for maybe a year and you guys are not really friends. So how did you within that short period cultivate such a strong friendship?
Yeah, it's easy. I would say what's easy, right?
He's very good at no he's no I commend you. Like you're very good when it comes to friendship.
Okay.
Yeah. So her is my sister.
Mhm,
Obviously, I know she's in different, but
mhm,
for you to have formed that friendship, for you
mhm,
both to have formed that friendship, what are
mhm,
some things that you can give to somebody who sees somebody they don't know them, but they
mhm,
would like to maybe
mhm,
be in a relationship with them? How do
mhm.
they cultivate that friendship?
I don't want to say our story was an edge case. I don't want to say it was an edge case, and why I'm saying that is that, of course, before Pearl, I had lots of friends, and before Pearl, none was actually, actually take the, I mean, worked out the way my relationship with Pearl worked out, and with Pearl, it was again back to my earlier point, which was that value alignment. Of course,
Mm,
naturally, first there was the attraction, physical attraction, and
mm,
beyond that as well, we just connected on so many things. And
mm.
when you connect with someone on multiple levels or
Levels.
layers, you just realize that you can have really stimulating conversations
Right.
that then helps to foster a connection and
Right.
foster friendship,
Right.
and that happens naturally, right? We shared. I mean, there was faith alignment. We had
That's
we
a
had
big one. That's a
we
big
had
one.
we had similar beliefs in terms of our spiritual growth. We had
Yeah.
we had we had similar beliefs as well in terms of personal development, and any one of these topics, we could just sit together and just talk about it, and it was just good conversation, and
Mm,
it did not start up intentionally as being a relationship. It was just, just friendship,
yeah.
and friendship morphed into
Yeah. That's
into a
so
good
good.
relationship,
That's
and
so good.
someone you can just have a conversation with, right? Because ultimately you just want to be able to, get home at the end of the day, and be able to speak and connect on an intellectual level, and
Okay, there's this question I've been dying to ask you because I feel like we live in a society where they say men are hunters, right? And it's just me, but the way you go after somebody actually matters. Even if I have something very good for you, assuming I had like $5,000 to give you and you don't have to do anything. If I start saying you must take it, take it, take it, take it, you start becoming suspicious. Like, why are you trying
Yeah.
to give me? So the way you approach things, it also matters. So how can a guy strike that balance between coming too strong at a lady such that she's now like you're pushing her away by your persistence? Like, how do you come in a way where you're still a manly man, but then you're not chasing her away by your persistence?
I think that's an interesting question, and that's maybe a question best suited for for a female to answer. But but I'm also happy to speak to it from a man's perspective, right? And for me in particular, I mean, it's just more of course, when you see someone, you don't know that this person is your future partner, or you don't know any of that yet. All you know is maybe there's love at first sight, right? At best, and and at best, again, that's just chemistry. So for you to realize whether or not there's potential friendship here, there's potential companionship, and value alignment, and so on and so forth, right? There has to be a discovery process. You need to go through a discovery process, and discovery looks like getting to know the person. And so as a man, if you haven't really gone through that discovery process, and you're promising heaven and earth, then it comes across as it comes across as being shallow. It comes across as this person just has an ulterior motive, or there's there's something to it that meets the eye. So I would say it's more of, hey, yes, you're attracted to this person, you like the person. Take some time, get to know them, right? Get to know what they stand for, get to know who they are, get to know if you share complementary interests. I mean, I don't want to say the same interest, right? Because your interest does not need to be exactly the same. My wife and I, we have a lot of things in common, but at the same time, there are some things that she really likes to do, which I don't, and there are some things I really like to do as well, which it's not her bread and butter. But those things are complementary. They are not opposite of each other. They are complementary, right? And it just extends our capabilities, and who we are as a couple.
Thank you for that. I just feel like a lot of women are like looking for men that can chase after them, and they just want to feel like they are chased after. But then there's also that when you're coming at me and you're so strong, I want to run in the other direction because
Exactly.
it's like you're on my neck. Yeah, too much. So, yeah, just striking that balance between being too much and still showing her that, okay, I'm interested in you. I want to get to know you.